Lions talk, the Lions fan cave chat. I got Woody Bach with me, the Wild Woody Show. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, brother? How you doing? It's been a while, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute. We both dealt with some shit, so we're good.
Yes, sir. Here we are. Glad to be here, brother. Glad to be here.
But this is the fan cave chat, so I did open it up to the fans. I put it on my channel only. It's there. If they want to hop in, they can. So, like,
Yeah, sorry about the camera, fellas. I worked. I took a nap. I got the link late. I'm a hot mess. Trust me, it's better. It's off. So.
oh, you don't want grace our cameras with your pretty face.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying.
So let's talk about what's going on. And the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that a line has been drawn in the sand.
Za'Darius Smith
and Brad Holmes and everybody involved. So Lions only want to give X percentage of guaranteed money, and he wants this percentage of guaranteed money. And the only way that they're going to get a deal done is if Z. Smith and his agent comes back and talks to our front office.
I love it, especially with the draft. Leverage, bro. You know, right. You know, Za'Darius Smith is dating that Detroit rapper Cash Doll. He's at all the Detroit here, right? He has a foundation. I love what Brad Holmes is doing with it, man. I like Za'Darius, but at a certain price point, right? I love it.
Under $8 million, I'm good.
Yeah. Especially when you're paying Davenport 4.5, right? Right. With one pinky and fucking.
His name ain't Davenport. He's gonna get a hangnail and miss half the season. You know this is gonna happen. It happens every year.
Yeah. And bro, and you get to play for a contender, right? At the end of your career. Not only that, you're on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, it's a win-win. You're probably going to get 4 or 5 sacks just off that. Maybe extend your career a couple more years, get a couple more million. But he might be looking for a deal, maybe for a little bit more money somewhere else. But I don't think he's going to find it right now, bro. I just don't think he's going to find it.
Leonard goes, email me, prick.
Oh, fucking Leonard.
The diva.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, for sure. He's a good guy.
Yeah. No, that's my brother from another mother.
Yeah. I love what Brad's doing with that, though, finally, bro, especially with one of these older guys. Or you just contact us when you're ready. This is about what we offer. It is what it is, you know?
See if I can get a good old chicken nugget king to show up, too, just in case.
I ain't heard that name in a while.
The Chicken Nugget King. We got Matt Henry, the Bear fan. And
good evening.
I got our favorite little thumb Leonard.
The little giant for sure.
You know, I do got a picture of him. Have you seen the picture that I got of him?
No, show it. Holy shit, that's spot on.
Leonard the Garden Gnome.
That's after work for sure. I've seen that picture before.
And you remember Ken Catalone that's been on our roundtable talks and we're talking about the NFL throughout the season, the Green Bay guy, right?
Yeah.
There he is. It's Kitty Ken.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know Kenny. We did a couple of shows together. Yeah. You know what? After you did your morning show, it was a couple days ago. I didn't really catch what was said, but I heard him kind of talking about you. I forgot what it was about. Maybe it was about one of your topics.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. People were giving me all sorts of shit about J-Mo's next contract.
Yeah, I seen one of those.
I sat there and said, all you got to do is look at the trajectory and where the bar is going. And by the time J-Mo gets his contract done, which probably won't get done until next year because they're going to make him wait a year.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
They already said they're doing their 5th-year option, which if you're going to do the 5th-year option, that means you're not trading them. I mean, that's a hand-in-hand thing 99% of the time.
Well, one of those sports writers decided to drop that little column about trading them right before the draft for he was talking, what was he talking, like a 3rd and a 5th? It's like, that don't even make sense to get rid of J-Mo right now after his first 1,000-yard season. What, he missed 3 games, Jeremy? He missed 3 games and had 2. Sorry, that's right. They did. You're right. He had a great year, bro. They're not going to fuck that. Like that don't even make no sense. You're losing at that point.
Yeah. Our number one wide receiver on this team is Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's averaging, not breaking it down per year, but his average per year is $33 million, right?
Yeah.
So if you do that, our number 2 should get under 30, but probably closer to 25, 27 million a year. Correct?
No way.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's been the going rate of 2s right now because Higgins is a 2 and he just got 35.
Higgins is a 1 anywhere else.
Doesn't matter. He's a 2 on that team.
Higgins is a 1 on your team.
No.
I don't think Higgins would be a 1.
Oh, that's an argument right there. Oh, I almost said no, and then I thought about it.
Amon-Ra's our 1.
Yeah. I should have known that was Dan with that fucking name, bro. God damn it. He knows. He
knows how to push buttons.
Oh, I felt like it might be personal, and I thought about the odds. I was like, it might be some other Detroit fan or something. No, it's Dan.
Nope, I emailed him. He jumped right on. John, now you're delusional. I don't see 0-17.
I don't see anything close to it. See, so now that we're talking about that, a lot of these other chats, they talk about because of the replacement of Ben Johnson and like these guys are no names, right? And all this other stuff. I'm not saying it won't be an issue, but these guys are talking about falling to the basement of the fucking North because Ben Johnson left and because AG. We did lose what is it, 6, 7 guys? But the replacements, just in the same token, how like our coach worked with AG and New Orleans. Yeah, so Morton was there too. You know what I mean? So yeah, Shaw, you're talking about Shaw. Go ahead.
And Morton was here in 2021 while Anthony Lynn was here. He was one of his assistants under Ben Johnson. But the fact that he actually came from the Rams to the Saints, he was actually with Goff too. So,
and Shepard is like fucking Dan, bro. Shepard is a defensive. He's a guy. He's a motivator of men, bro. I think we're going to see a lot more 3-4 a base this year. He's going to work with the linebackers, bring those safeties over and under. Not only that, but Shaw was Harbaugh's man, bro, in San Diego and at Stanford. He knows that offense. What's up, bro?
You better go listen to Kelvin Shepard. We're going to be a 4-3 defense.
Okay, fair enough.
But we're not going to be 4-2. That's going to be for the specialty times when it's needed to have the extra defensive back. You know what I mean?
Hey. You guys could run the 4-2 now. You have competent safeties.
That's true. But we don't have we just don't know what we got in our depth of that room until everybody's healthy and we see what Ennis Rakestraw can do. Until we can see how Avonte Maddox works with what we got. We know everybody was good somewhere else, but you know how when they go somewhere else and then they fall apart? That happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it's even like Meek. Meek really had the best year out of all our corners for the most part. We fell apart once he got injured against the Commanders. Like, Meek is undervalued, bro. I love Meek. I thought he was really great here.
And everybody's like, oh, he's going to be out a while. I was like, no, they said the MRIs were negative right after the game. The next day. His MRIs were negative at Monday, so I don't see where he's going to be out any length of time. And this Rakestraw is finally healthy. I hope he can stay healthy all preseason, because then we can actually see what he can do.
Yeah.
Studying the play.
Only thing that really stings for me, and it's hindsight is 2020, is if you look at this year's draft, like some positions but I don't think Terrion would have been like a top 4 or 5 corner in this year's draft. Like that's my personal opinion. You know what I mean?
I think it'd have been number 2.
Interesting.
I think number 2. If you look at his stats that he put up at Alabama, and you put them up against the guys this year, he'd have been the second best corner in the draft. The only guy with better quarter numbers would have been Travis Hunter.
Well, they have about 5 guys who had 5 or more interceptions in this one. They do have a couple like work on type guys, but like big dudes, like 6'4" plus man coverage types. Just my personal opinion. Like, I love Terrion. I think he's gonna get better as we go. I'm not trying to attack him at all, bro.
Yeah.
But
I love the kid because of what he did after the break. Remember, he only got like a couple of penalties from week 7 on. He only got a couple of penalties versus how he started the year. So that meant he improved. And that's all I wanted to see. And he gave up less than half the yardage that CD3 did. Remember, CD3, by the time the bye got here, he had already given up 850 yards.
That was a terrible trade for that guy, man.
It was. And I'm happy he got overpaid by the Patriots, and we got DJ Reed. DJ Reed instead.
If DJ Reed was 4 inches taller, he'd be a top 10 corner.
Yeah.
Right, but at his height and his youth, he's exactly what CD3 was here. He plays like he's CD3 size. If he was 4 inches taller, he'd be playing like he was Iffy size. I hope that makes sense how I worded it.
I got what you were saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is somebody getting their ass kicked over there, Woody?
It sounds like it.
No. I told everybody I was doing the TV thing, and then my son decided to play with the dog and threw shit in this room. So I got a brand new puppy, and fucking he's running back and forth. So I apologize. I'm trying to mute my mic and say shit at the same time.
It's all good, man.
No, it's not all good, but it is what it is. I'm getting ready to go nuts as soon as we get off here.
Drop kick them both.
Oh, they're both getting it. I promise you. You should have heard. I was trying to do something with Bill and them, and I got a puppy, and he has like anxiety, bro. And I put him in the room, and he's fucking yelling. Somebody's about to call the cops on us, bro. He's fucking sound like I was killing him.
Oh, he goes, can the Lions win a full Super Bowl with Goff? I felt Tannehill cost the Titans a Super Bowl in 2021. Thank you, Oiler Titan, for popping in. Can they win with Goff? Yes, because if you go back and look at the Super Bowl that Goff was in, he didn't lose that Super Bowl. 4 drops lost that Super Bowl.
He didn't win that Super Bowl either. He lost me money.
I understand. Hey, let me finish my take before you interrupt, sir.
Yeah.
Anyways, there was 4 drops in that game, and all 4 of them would have been touchdowns. There was 2 by Brandon Cooks, 1 by Josh Reynolds. Oh, go figure.
Go figure.
Josh Reynolds choking in a big game. And, of course, 1 by the tight end. Was it Grady Everett? Right?
No, not Everett.
Gerald Everett, excuse me.
Yeah.
Grady is the younger one.
Hey, on a side note, I still think they need to look into Josh Reynolds' FanDuel and DraftKings and all that and see how many times he took the under.
I swear to God, bro. He was Mr. Dependable all year that year, bro. Josh would fucking catch. Him and Khalif were amazing. Go up 17 points fucking against the 49ers. He's dropping everything, bro. It was fucking not everything. He made that one spectacular catch and then caught the other 2 that were right in the bucket. So it still hurts. I don't want to talk about it.
That one don't hurt me. I didn't put money on that one.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we got further than we expected that year. We didn't get as far as we expected this past year. And what did I say as soon as that Goff contract was done, Woody? And you agreed with it as soon as I said it and explained it out.
2-year contract.
It's a 2-year Super Bowl or bust contract.
Yeah. It was kind of like his last contract too. If you remember when he was in LA right after the Super Bowl thing, he got a really high contract, but within a couple years, it was a bottom of the barrel contract by the time he got here, right? And if you notice, we signed that contract right before a couple more extensions were done. So it's like even on the spectrum, it's still going to be on the lower end side. Just at the moment, it was draw dropping. But you're 100% correct. He has a window. He has a window.
This year, right?
I want to specifically address that. Yes, he did sail a couple of passes, but there were 4 passes that hit receivers and a tight end right in the hands that should have been caught. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about where he sailed passes. I'm not talking about where he threw it to the other team. I'm not talking about fumbles. We're talking about a game that they lost 10-3. 4 touchdowns. They'd have smoked them.
And I mean, even in that game against the 49ers, put the fumble aside, the drop passes, the next time nothing went wrong, he scored a touchdown in the second half, if you remember that. When Gibbs didn't fumble, when Reynolds didn't drop passes, he scored again. So it's that I think he was good enough to get us there that year. That's for sure.
I think what didn't get us there, and it's a combination of both, he had a bad game, and our defense came out flattered than pancakes.
Yeah. That Vildor play killed a lot.
No, I'm talking about this past one versus Washington.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we scored 31 points. Offensively, I don't care how bad your quarterback, your running back, the turnovers, and everything else. If your defense is playing defense, you should win a game when you score 31 points in the NFL.
In theory.
Bro, I tried saying that same shit. Our 3 losses this year, right? We put up 42 against Buffalo. We put up 31 against fucking the Commanders. And against Tampa Bay, we went 2-7 in the red zone. But Goff had 500 yards, just about, right?
But that's because we didn't run the ball in that game. They only ran the ball 12 times was the killer. He threw the ball 51 times. That was the biggest thing. That is not how you win with Goff. You do not have him throwing more than 40 passes in a game.
Absolutely. I mean, and that goes to your point, 2-7 in the red zone, right? I mean, for us, that's horrible, bro. Horrible.
And they were 3 of 5 in the red zone. We only let them get in the red zone 5 times, but they scored on 3 of them.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about in the last couple of years, bad offensive showings, we had the Patriots. You remember that game? I think it was 28-0 after we kind of went on a run. And you had the Jaguars, that game versus the Jags. And yeah, those are 3 years ago, I think, now. But yeah, it was the New England game. And it was even that when we went in 1-6, we were within, 3 to 7 points of all those games. And 5 of them were playoff teams. Philly, we almost won that game. So we almost won that other Buffalo game. So, yeah. But yeah, this year, we did put up 31 points, and it felt like it was a 40-point ass whooping, honestly. When Kirby Joseph is I think he was the lowest PFF rating that game for a defensive player on the Lions. When he's your lowest rated fucking point guy, bro, that's tough.
Exactly.
So hear me out, JB. I have a question for you now.
Okay.
This is the second year of that contract for Goff, right? So
Yep.
it's Super Bowl or bust this year. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think go ahead.
So if you don't make it this year, do you try trading Goff?
Yeah, I think they do. Because there will be somebody that has a horrible third year of a rookie quarterback where they don't have any money invested and they might have a crap ton of cap, and you might be able to get a buttload of picks from them.
So in theory, you could get Arch Manning next year and get a real quarterback to come and show you how to win a Super Bowl. A Manning. Hey, Mannings win. All of them. It's just something they do.
Yeah. I think Nico will be in that draft too.
Did you see this NIL, what it breaks down to now?
Yeah, bro. He wound up getting less money at UCLA.
He took a $1.2 million pay cut because his dad and him are greedy pricks.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's absolutely, yeah, that shit's absolutely crazy right now, bro. But yeah, no, I agree with JB. I really think that window's closing in on him. The thing about Brad is he just falls in love with players. He just, you know what I mean? To me, that's how it feels. Like especially drafted guys.
But the way he did this contract at that $69.2 million balloon payment for the next season, not this season, the following one, and it only clears $5 million. And somebody says, you're willing to take the $63.4 million cap hit? Yes. Yes. And that'll be the last year of Hooker's contract. Here's the crazy thing. If Hooker could have used his last 2 years of eligibility because of everything that went on and stayed in college and he was coming out this year, you realize he'd be the number 1 quarterback in the draft?
No, he wouldn't.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, he would. Absolutely, he would.
You know why he wouldn't? Because he'd be like 30.
Well, that's true. But even if you go back to that Heisman year when Caleb won it, he probably takes it if he don't get a leg injury. And every quarterback that was up for that Heisman, they lost in their conference game. If you go back to it, the one that Caleb won, and Corum got injured at that. So you got Hooker, Corum go down, and then all the other quarterbacks lost their conference game and didn't go to the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken.
So Euler Titan asks, which team in the division causes the most worry? Young Caleb improving with Bears, remade O-line, Minnesota getting better, and people seem to think that Green Bay has the best young QB with Love. Love regressed a little bit from the year before last year. He didn't even win a playoff game. So all of us that made the playoffs, we did the exact same thing, 0-1. The only team that's undefeated in the division right now is Chicago, and that's because they blocked a ton. It's not because they won the game. So I'm going to say this. I think everybody in the division rose up, and the Lions kind of stayed right where they were, and we're all on a level playing field, and it all depends on how it all plays out throughout the season. I think last place in this division has 9 wins, and first place has 12, and I can't tell you who it's going to be.
Yeah. I agree that he said it perfectly. I think Minnesota really, I think they're heading in the right direction, even though they only got 4 draft picks coming up. But I like what they're doing, especially on the defensive side.
Yeah, 4 draft picks with only 3 holes. That's actually perfect. If they trade back once, they got the extra ammo.
That's perfect. Yeah. I just think Minnesota, I like what they did, added some veteran depth. I just think Minnesota, people don't have to like JJ. I just think he's a good fit for the system, bro, especially with all the weapons. I think he's going to be better than Darnold was. That's my opinion. Nobody agrees, but that's cool.
I absolutely disagree, but you know that already.
Yep.
Mitt Foley that Joe Thuney that the Bears got from the Chiefs makes them tremendously better at the guard position. There is no mistakes about it, but at the same time, he has to stay healthy all year again at his age.
Yep, Darisaul's coming back too, right? That's gonna help him.
Can anybody in the NFC catch Philly and Washington? With Washington, you got to see if Jaden Daniels has a sophomore slump, because that's a real thing. We see quarterbacks do it every year, and that's the reason why I'm not as worried about Caleb Williams, because he's got to learn a brand new playbook again. He's got to rework with a new coach. He's got to get new cadences and stuff, because the verbiage changes. Say what you want. When the verbiage changes, it affects quarterbacks, especially young ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's not a knock against Caleb. Don't everybody come up here and bag on me. I'm just trying to be realistic. He could improve. You don't know.
The only one of those first-year quarterbacks that I wouldn't worry about a new thing like that would have been Bo Nix.
Right. Bo Nix, and who was the one the year before? Because that's who I said. The last 2 years, I said it was somebody outside of the first round that would be one of the best rookie quarterbacks that year, and I was right both times.
I can't remember.
This year it was Bo Nix. I said Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels, and the proof is both teams were in the playoffs. The year before it was C.J. Stroud, and I knew C.J. Stroud would be good, but I said somebody in the second tier would be good, and he ended up being good. And Leonard goes, "Holy shit, you were right." But the one thing Leonard gets right is tight ends. When he talks about tight ends, that this tight end is the next who's the shit. He's been dead on. He said Laporta, then he said Bowers. Who is it this year?
Don't be biased.
It's going to depend. If Loveland goes to the right place, he could be that guy. But I don't see any true impact beyond him, only if he goes to the right place.
I think it's him and Tyler Warren.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think those two are the playmaking tight ends coming out. The rest of them are just kind of either more of a blocking tight end or more of a receiving tight end, but none of them are game changers. Am I wrong in how I feel about that?
No.
Okay.
I like Philly to go after fucking Loveland, bro. I know they got Goddard. I'm just saying. I really do.
There was rumors that they're going to be moving Goddard, and they're going to try to get T.J. Watt.
Oh.
They better keep their dick skinners off of T.J. Watt.
Actually, wasn't it talks about Goddard going to the Giants?
Yeah, fucking dipshit put that rumor out there, but we won't trade within the division like that, especially with Philly.
Look who's back! It's Motown Mitch. What up, though? Lions rule, Bears drool. You're not wrong. And
I missed that question.
What?
There was a question before Motown Mitch said something. Something about quarterbacks.
Said, Cam Ward can do what Stroud, Daniels, and Nix did. See, the problem is I don't have the faith that Cam Ward will in the NFL. I think he'll be solid right away, but I don't think he'll be a star right away. There's just something about him that has me worried about him.
He's a selfish son of a bitch, and he's got bad footwork.
Okay. There.
I still love the guy, though.
Don't get me wrong. If you're going to take a quarterback at 3, that's who you want, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. But that being said, you'd rather get Travis Hunter if you can, right?
Nope. I don't want either one of them, honestly, at 3.
Wow. Who do you want?
I want the offensive tackle from Texas. Or A&M, whatever it is.
Okay. So now
that's fair.
To that point. That's what we're doing. It is now draft talk. That's where we're at. So, Woody, I asked this on Wednesday night. You weren't a part of the show, so I'm going to ask you. Out of our defensive needs, and I think there's 3 or 4 total, right? I still think we need some depth at the linebacker position, especially if we're going to a 3-man linebacker room, but at a 4-3, correct?
Yeah.
But I think our main 2 needs is another guard and edge. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And a wide receiver 3 or 4.
Defensive tackle if McNeil's not going to be ready.
McNeil's supposed to be ready by somewhere between week 4 and week 8.
Yeah, so defensive tackle, somewhere like the 3rd.
But we can get depth for that. We did just sign Brandon Roy. We still got Levi Onwuzurike. We still got Pat O'Connor. Who else do we got that plays that in-betweener role? We still got DJ Reader. Titans need a better wide receiver. They have Ridley, but need at least 3 more. You're not wrong. I heard you guys were going Abdul Carter for the Titans. That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah.
Which it makes sense because you have lost so much on the defensive line over the past 2 seasons. But yeah, I'd say the rest of your picks, you could throw them at wide receivers every round until at least 2 of them stick.
Resborough.
Yeah. There's definitely some wide receiver like 2, 3 in the 2nd and 3rd round that have a lot of potential, especially in this draft.
The tiny boy, I love this draft because I always pick one. Leonard knows we've talked about it. It's Xavier Restrepo out of Miami. That kid is 1.5% drop rate. I think that was the best hands in the NCAA last year.
That's my guy.
Yep.
Runs crisp routes. Gets to the end zone. Makes people miss with elusiveness. I mean, he's you know what he is? He's a younger, faster version of Khalif Raymond without an injury history.
Yeah, that's fair. I like Jaden Royals. Jaden Royals is another one. Torrey Horton, Higgins. I like a lot of them.
I like Higgins because he's that big-bodied guy that we really don't have other than Tim Patrick. And as I said earlier, Tim Patrick's held together with duct tape and scar tissue.
So now that we're talking about Tim Patrick, there's a guy in the draft, bro. He's like 5th, 7th round projection. His name's Isaac Tesla. He went to Hillsdale Division II, wound up at Arkansas, 6'4". If you put a lot of faith in the RAS score, bro, since 1987, 3,875 receivers have been graded. Out of all those receivers, he's the 29th highest ranked ever. This kid in everything he's good, bro. He's like a poor man's Mike Evans, in my opinion, bro. I think later on.
It's funny you say that. Guess who's number 28 on that list?
Who's that?
Mike Evans.
Hey now. Hey now. But
no, I love the RAS score. I think you were on. It was one of the first times you watched me. I had Kent Platt on here. Remember that?
Yeah.
The math bomb guy?
Yeah.
The one that created grass.
Yeah.
I think you were with me too, weren't you? Weren't you, Leonard, on that one? You were on the show, weren't you?
I believe.
When he was here, and you were just like, you sat there and you messaged me on my phone because you didn't want him to see it. You go, "This guy's boring. I'm out."
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So you were there.
I don't care if people know shit. If they're not entertaining, I don't want to hang out.
Well, every now and then he'd say something that was funny, but it was math funny, and that's not your type of joke. You don't like jokes that make you think harder than ha ha.
I noticed that the Lions met with Josiah Stewart 3 times too.
Yep, and we also have brought Golden in, who's another one that could fall in that second round range for us.
Yes, or he could move up. That sounds like somebody he might move up for.
And I think it's going to be a lot like last year. You're not going to move up more than 5 or 6 spots because you don't want to give up a buttload of draft capital.
You know what? For Golden, I don't think you have to, just because of the way this draft is formed.
You know who I think that we move up with, and it'll piss them off because I know that all of their Green Bay.
You know what? I was thinking Minnesota, maybe in the back of my mind, but just so they have some later round picks. But you're probably right on that.
Because look, move up 5 spots, you're at 23. That's Green Bay's pick.
Like you were talking about getting thicker, kind of like at the linebacker, like Josiah Stewart. I'm not talking about a first, bro. He's an undersized guy. They didn't think he would play at the Big Ten level coming from Coastal Carolina. He had a 28% win pass rush rate, bro. I know he's undersized, but he could even fit in at like that Sam linebacker role. You know what I'm saying? An off the ball linebacker. And you could also kind of put him at the edge with that speed. I know he's undersized. I get it. I'm not saying that, bro. But it could work into that defense because Shepard is a linebacker type dude. And he's been underrated his whole life. Josiah Stewart plays with a different type of it. He's like a little explosive bomb, bro. Like I love like that 28% pass rush win, bro. That's off the charts. Even Big Ten, like that's off the charts. So I think that caught their eye. And them meeting with him 3 times, bro. That's he's met with a lot of his guys. I also think, like, at the end of the first round, a Tyler Booker's like a guard replacement. I think that's somebody fucking Brad will like. Jordan Birch, second round guy, but.
Yep. But I was thinking, okay, because we know that the top 4 or 5 guys will probably be off the board by 28 comes for the edge win, right?
Yeah.
And there's only about, 4 or 5 offensive guards that have a first round grade.
Yep.
And the last one is the guy that I want out of Georgia. Mullet Man, the one that looks like an offensive guard version of Dan Campbell, Tate Rutledge.
Yeah.
And so if all 4 or 5 of those better defensive ends are gone, and you're looking at a tweener, somebody that's like a first to second, the late second to pick. Would you take Tate Rutledge, whose window starts at that point, basically at 28? When you look at all the mocks, he's anywhere from 28 to 102. So that means they expect him to at least go from the end of day 1 into the end of day 2. So it's not a reach to grab him there if you don't think he'll be there by your next pick, correct?
No, if Brad likes him, it's not a reach.
Right, that's what I'm getting at. So if we we go that guard, and we don't have to start him year 1. He gets to learn and develop a year before he even plays, and we get the 5th-year option. That means he's here for 4 years playing after that. That means we can let Glasgow walk after this season, and you got a guy that steps right in.
Well, why don't you trade down at that point into the top of the second and get some extra picks then?
Because Brad doesn't want to risk. Everybody has offensive line needs in this draft. Everybody. So if you're the first one at the pick where this guy's available in the window, and you have a chance to pull the trigger and get him, you don't trade back. You pull the trigger if it's somebody you like. We've seen they don't care about positional value. They don't give 2 fucks about it, because otherwise we wouldn't have Jahmyr Gibbs at 12 2 years ago.
Yeah, Brad definitely. He's going to draft the best player available in his eyes, right? If he fits the position.
It's best player available that fits his team. He doesn't care about fit about anywhere. He doesn't care if it's the best player available in the draft. He'll pass on him.
No, they made it clear they go after their type of guy. They have an archetype of a type of guy that they want for their team, right? So 100%. What were you about to say, Dan?
Hang on, I'm trying to fix my goddamn iPad. I'm trying to figure out how to fucking reset this damn thing because it's not doing anything.
But that happened.
Computer smarter.
No, it's been freaking dead for like the past 2 months, and I just decided to charge it. And it's just not linking anything up. So I need to just factory reset the thing, start it all over again.
The fuck that's got to do with football?
What?
His factory reset computer. He was asking a question. He's like, hold on. You and the computer factory reset it at the same time.
Oh, yeah, shit. No, I did have a question. I did question to it, though. Right now, though, you guys are at the point where you need an impact player to get over that hump. Why are you going to take a guy in the first round that's not going to start for you now? Why not make that pick into something that's going to start for you to be what you need?
Because Brad don't give a shit when he picks them.
But Brad doesn't win Super Bowls.
Yes, he does.
Where?
Shut up. 70% of that team drafted that went to the Super Bowl and won was Brad Holmes' pick.
Does Brad Holmes have a ring?
He's been here 4 years, man. Their first year, they were 3-13.
I'm talking about with the Rams there. He didn't get a ring with that. It was after he left, they won. I'm just saying, get the guy that's going to freaking put you over. Shit, if that means trading that pick and something else for freaking Hendrickson, go do it.
I think there's going to be an impact pay. And there's a lot of I think there'll be a guy there, bro. This draft is so fucking crazy as far as number one. It's up in the air. There's so many, but there's not enough. There's so much like good front end talent, and there's just not enough picks before ours. Truly, there's 3 guys alone from Michigan that are going to go in the top, 25, 20 probably?
Yeah, like, at least 3 are going in the top.
No,
Dan, I forgot about that 20 either.
Mason Graham. It's not happening.
Mason Graham, Kenny Grant, Colson Loveland. That's who's going in the top 20.
And you don't think Will Johnson is?
I forgot about Will Johnson. There's 4. Oh, you hate when I'm right.
The fucking stupid ass fucking iPad.
Yeah, I mean, then you got Mike Green, Will Campbell. You got 2 quarterbacks sitting there, Travis Hunter, Jonty somewhere in the mix. I really think one of those guys that were top 15, top 16 projected will be there. I truly do. Because somebody's pulling the trigger on Jonty. That's a fact. You got Mike Green lingering, right? There's Will Johnson. So you think Terriano would be number 2 at corner before Will or after Will? Who you putting at 1?
I think Will's number 1 this year. Will and Travis, it's a 1A, 1B, and then right behind them would be Terrion. That's just me.
Okay. That's fine.
Because the only reason why Travis Hunter won the Heisman, everybody says, oh, it was because of how good he was at cornerback.
He came out early, too, so he's still young. You know what I mean? He came out of college early.
Right. And Travis actually was, 3rd in yardage in the NCAA? Was Shedeur throwing to him?
Shedeur was one of the most accurate quarterbacks in freaking college football, too, this year. Go look at his completion percentage.
I don't care. He played in a garbage division.
You know, that's another person that gets undershined. I really like Jimmy Horn too. I think Jimmy Horn was a good wide receiver. Why did I say that?
Jimmy Horn Jr., right? Is that who you're talking about right now?
Yeah.
In the draft?
Absolutely.
Isn't that Joe Horn's nephew?
You know what? I watched the Steve Smith podcast today, and they brought that up, and they said, no, it's not his nephew. A lot of people were saying that.
There was guys that were swearing on it on a podcast that I was a part of Thursday or Tuesday. I can't remember which day. I've been a part of so many podcasts since I've been back.
Yeah, I know. High commodity, man.
I don't know why people want me on.
Because our free JB t-shirts didn't get out in time.
I know. I was making logos for Dan fucking weeks ago.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Did you have me looking like, I was to say, did you have me looking like Princess Drusilla in Spaceballs? Nobody knows.
No, but that'd have been funny.
Hey, I don't mind picking on myself. You know that I'm one of the first ones that'll pick on themselves doing this stuff. You know why? Because life's too fucking short. You need to laugh.
Facts. And hey, man, I think I've done good. I've only made 2 Diddy jokes.
I know. We'll leave it alone. We're live.
You know what I noticed about Brad Holmes? You know, he was the only GM who attended Austin Peay cornerback Jesse Johnson III's pro day. That's interesting to me. He got on an airplane, flew out. Go ahead.
And in other news, I got one about being flown out. Aaron Glenn goes to the Jets, meets with the GM.
That's fun.
Flies Aaron Rodgers in. Says, well, do you want to play? And less than 20 seconds later, Aaron Rodgers goes, well, yes, I think I do. And Aaron Glenn looks at him and goes, well, we're going in another direction. In other words, you're fired.
Yeah. I seen that. Aaron Rodgers did an interview about it. He was like, then he brought in the GM. Oh my God.
No, yeah. Sorry. I agree with Rodgers on this. They could have just did that as a FaceTime.
They could have. But at the same time, you know what that was? Oh, you don't want to show up to camp? You don't want to work out with your wide receivers? You don't want to learn the playbook? You want to struggle for half a season? Fuck you.
I'm not going to lie. If I was freaking Rodgers, I'd have punched Glenn right in his mouth at that point for making me waste my time.
I love it. I think it's great. Because you know why?
Punch the GM too.
You know why I love it? Because I finally got it back. Say it, Leonard.
Fuck the pack. You know what, though? It's reciprocal. Rodgers wasted their fucking time, too. They brought in all those fucking dudes. They catered to them for no fucking reason, bro. No fucking reason.
They did the same thing for Brett Favre.
Yeah. There was some results there.
That's why Rodgers is going to be starting in Minnesota this year.
See how I worked?
Yeah,
we're there. You like that one?
Yep.
It's like saying score, but with a cock in your mouth. That's hilarious.
I am in the fuck your feelings Friday mode today.
I got in trouble for wearing my shirt to work, man.
What shirt?
Fuck your feelings, hoodie.
There's the shirt you need to wear it at work.
I needed to wear it at work.
You do need to wear it at work?
I needed to. I got in trouble for it, too.
And then, of course, fucking the big C toilet seat.
You want to talk about a fucking delusional fan base, bro? For fucking 3 years, the Bears have been talking about this and that, bro. You hear their mouth in the off season, then there's some excuse during the season, and then after the season, because you didn't fucking win a Super Bowl by 50 points, you're the bottom. So then they want to talk about 40 years from now. It's crazy to me, bro.
Yeah. But that being said, you know, we're not the Super Lions this year. I think we're just going to be the good Lions this year. And I don't mean great. I don't mean overpowering. I think we're going to be good enough to get there. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. A good young team that's taking bruises, got a lot of fight in them, bro. That last performance at the
As long as we don't have like 8 players on the IR from the defense or the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. I'm hoping Hutch is back to normal, you know? Get McNeil back.
You haven't watched this video of him running with that parasail behind him yet?
Yeah, I've seen the running videos. I know he's a monster.
He's looking great.
Yeah, it worries me a little bit. That's all, man. You know, such a great kid.
Like that doctor said that was from Michigan. He goes, this break wasn't as bad as the one he had at Michigan, so he should heal fast. I think they were smart playing with kid gloves and telling him, no, you're not coming in yet.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
if we'd have won that game, he'd have been playing in the NFC Championship game because you saw it. He was jumping up and down every time a play was made.
And he's that type of player that remembers that. You know what I mean? That shit ate at him.
So
you know?
I do have my worst UDFA loss of the season last year. You know who it was?
Who's that?
The guy with the best porn name that I talked about all off season. Steel Chambers. Guess what he's doing this year after 3 games for the Memphis Showboats, even though it's a losing team? Guess what he's doing?
What's he doing?
He's leading the UFL in tackles overall at 27 in 3 games. He's averaging 9 tackles a game, 5 solo, 4 assisted.
Wow. Yeah, I don't watch no UFL, but maybe I do.
I do a UFL show at 9 p.m. on Twitter with some guys and stream to my channel. So I cover the Panthers now, so I got to cover it. And plus, we're in first place on our half of the division. So
okay,
we're 2-1 with a plus 8 point differential, which means our defense is good, but it's not great. But our offense is just starting to get going. Bryce Perkins is our quarterback right now. He's thrown 2 touchdowns and rushed for 3. He's got 74 yards on the ground through 3 games and 3 touchdowns. He's got I think it was 328 yards passing with 2 touchdowns so far.
Is that Michigan Panthers?
That's Michigan Panthers. And we got 2 of Puka Nakua's cousins on the team. One plays defense. That's Kai Nakua, the safety. The other one is Sayosa Nakua, another wide receiver.
What names?
Definitely Samoan.
Yeah. Yeah. Any news on fucking Manu, bro? Has he been improving and been working?
Manu has been working out with Glasgow and Mahogany to learn the guard position, but Taylor Decker says he's taking him under his wing this offseason.
Ah, interesting. And I like Mahogany.
I love Mahogany, and I think he's our left guard. I think Glasgow goes back to right because the only reason why he moved to left guard was because of Ziegler.
Violent. He's a violent man.
Yep. But Mahogany, when he stepped in, when Glasgow had to move over because Ziegler was out that game, you didn't see a difference in the O-line.
No.
Glasgow's a better right guard, and Mahogany looked natural. And what were we told all draft? We heard it even from the main guys at all the 4 and 3 3-letter sport networks. Oh, he's got one leg shorter than the other. That's why he's only played right guard his entire career.
Well, Mahogany really was a first-round talent, bro. When they graded him, he dropped.
And you know who else was that? And it's the only one I'm going to give this bum credit for because we didn't expect him to be good being picked in the 3rd round. The last year that they made picks for this team before they were fired was Bob Quinn and Jonah Jackson.
Yeah.
Because that was basically the same thing. If you look how he graded out, he should have been a first-round offensive guard compared to where he was drafted in, what was it, beginning of the 4th round when we got him?
Yep.
End of the third. Because beginning of the 4th round, we picked back-to-back. We had Amon-Ra and then Derek Barnes.
Yeah, St. Brown was our 4th round pick.
Yep. So you say what you want. You know, they've hit some things and they've lost some things. You know, every GM has. But the problem is,
absolutely,
Brad Holmes has made more hits than misses, and that makes it hard at this time now that you're in that 4th year. Because everybody from 2021 by the end of the season has to be redone, or they're going to be scrambling to do it at the beginning of next season.
Yeah. Brad Holmes is definitely great at drafting. Like that's his. I wish on some other things he'd use free agency a little bit better, some trades, but overall, like he's done an amazing job with this team in the time he's been here. I'm not gonna knock the man. You know what I mean?
Paul Jones, you're absolutely right. St. Brown in the 4th round should have been illegal.
Oh, 100%.
Well, Woody, you remember that when that all started? Originally, St. Brown was slated to be a second-round pick right after the combine, and those sexual allegations that got dropped came out.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
It came out right after the combine, and they went away just before the draft.
Isaiah Bond, anyone?
Love him.
He never even got brought in for questioning. The charges just got dropped all of a sudden. It makes me wonder who was the plant to start it and then drop it.
Well, if they did, good job. I mean, it's what it is. He got paid.
If that's what our West Coast scout did, kudos to you, brother.
I watched a thing where they were talking about where St. Brown was upset we picked him. He didn't even want to come here, but he's like, he's happy he did.
Right. He said when he first got drafted here, he's like, oh, man, he wanted to go to the Packers and play with his brother. And he said it. He didn't sugarcoat it. And now his brother's mad because he ended up on the Saints.
Yeah.
Why did you tell them I wanted a job with you guys? I didn't know you did. You never said you wanted to play for Detroit. All you did was talk shit about us.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on that podcast with the Bears.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He actually said, what do you mean you wanted to play with us? You never told me.
Yeah. They're two good boys though, man. Those kids were raised right. Great football players, great men. St. Brown was a hell of a 4th round pick. Even Kirby, we got Kirby in a 3rd. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's he's you know, who was that defensive end? I had a brain fart. He had a good rookie year with Hutch. We got him in the 7th round. He had the 8.5 sacks.
James Houston, the guy that shit himself versus the Texans.
Yeah, I think he had a great end of that year. Then he had the injury. I think that on a defensive line set us back because we had a little faith in him, bro. And then he just kind of was never anything ever again. You know what I mean?
James Houston, that we were going to regret it.
You broke up, Jeremy. I didn't hear what you said, brother.
I said, remember at the beginning of the season last year when they did the cuts, I was like, man, I really hope that they don't take that one sack that James Houston did and keep him and cut Matthew Betts.
Yeah.
They did.
And they did it. And I said, we're going to regret this come mid-season. I don't know why, but we're going to regret it. What happened?
The Hutch went down. Yep.
Mid-season.
It was tough watching McNeil fat ass fall on his leg.
Yeah, and he didn't even fall on it. Hutch was falling, and his leg just sort of hit against it, and it was so weird that it busted because it looked like it wasn't that bad of a hit. You know what I mean? It was just weird.
Yeah.
It was just he was that leg. He had the strongest part of his shin with the weakest part of his shin, and that's all
football.
Yeah, that's football. Shit happens.
Yeah.
But it is that time for me to go through our fake sponsors because I'm working on getting new ones because Brandon's is done because I was in jail when their year was up. So
what a sponsor.
Yeah. Go Bucks. Fuck the Bears. FTP. There we go. The best sponsors we've ever had on the show.
I agree.
And they'll be here every week in every show from now on. You know why? Because welcome to Huddle Sports Network, home of the bad takes, where no matter who you are and what team you're talking about, 75% of the people watching you would think you're full of shit.
Absolutely, bro. I'll tell you what, there's nothing more that upsets me. And I'm at work and I hear a couple of these guys on these other teams talking about how the Lions are going to be 5 and fucking 4,000 because Ben Johnson left. And these guys were calling Ben Johnson soft before he came to the Bears. Oh, he can't make a decision because he's soft. Now all of a sudden he's Mike Ditka. It's fucking, it blows my mind, bro. Oh, somebody got an iPhone.
I heard that. That was Siri all day.
Yeah. That was Dan trying to fix his laptop.
Nah, you know what? Actually, Woody, here, you'll love this. My buddy just sends me a fucking picture of the card he just pulled. He just pulled the J.J. McCarthy Uptown.
Oh, gosh.
It was. What does he want to sell it for?
I don't know. You want me to ask him?
Ask him. Don't say no fuck shit either.
My gay friend Woody.
It's 2025, man.
Wants to know how many blowjobs it will cost for it.
Shit. I'll save some money.
Hey, Woody, you should have heard the joke I said when Leonard was on the other night. Then it had to do with me being about jail.
Oh, wait, he got 2. What else did he fucking hit? Oh, he got a freaking speckled David Daniels.
Do you remember the joke, Leonard?
No, which one?
The one I said is that I wish Little Thumbs would have been in jail. I wouldn't have felt so violated.
Yep.
Speaking of Little Thumbs, don't forget, he's here with us every Wednesday and Friday, no matter what, because that's the night show.
Yeah. You want to know what the response I just got, man? You have a gay friend that wants your Woody?
And of course, Kitty Ken will be a part of every Wednesday. And as I always say to everybody, try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Have a great night, everybody.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Here you are.